What keeps you up at night as an entrepreneur? Is it attracting clients? Without clients, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. Is it your systems? Without a process, you're just your days just become more difficult. Is it life, work balance? Well, listen, these are the words from today's guest, Sam Anderson. And he says, there is a way to manage it all. You're here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, episode 774, From Hustle to Strategy, How I Built Multiple Six-Figure Businesses. Listen, don't you move. We'll be right back after this quick intro.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We are so excited that you are joining us here. And of course, as always, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we're going to do just that. We definitely want to shout out those of you that hang out with us on YouTube. Listen, go ahead and subscribe. We know you like the content on that channel. Certainly those that check this out in our podcast version, you know, Apple Podcasts is always high at the top of the list, but certainly Spotify and iHeartRadio. Some of you are checking us out on Amazon, and we appreciate you always stopping by, listening in. Some of you binge watch, binge listen. We thank you for that today. And again, you're checking out episode 774 here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Our guest is in the virtual green room, ready to come up to the mic. So we're excited to have all of those that are coming on in. Hello, Roberto. Hello, Marilyn, coming on in from New York. If you are new to this broadcast, just let us know. Comment wherever you are watching, if you are watching live. And if you're checking out the podcast version on Buzzsprout, there's a link you can click that says send us a text, and we'll be glad to get this party started and connected with you. And let me just say, this episode is being brought to you by our 9th in-person conference that's happening November 7th and 8th in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. It's called the Platform Builder Summit, VIP experience. I'll tell you more. Matter of fact, I'll show you more about it a little bit later. So let's go ahead and get this party going so I can bring my guests live here up on the virtual stage. So listen, we are excited to have Sam Anderson with us. And listen, leaving college midway, he balanced multiple ventures like Richmond Bubble Soccer and Cycle Laundry Services while working full-time as a project manager. Challenges, including financial struggles, fuel his creation of Enso Media Firm, bridging the gap of affordable startup marketing. Driven by a passion for mentoring entrepreneurs, Samuel Anderson established Mr Preneur, focusing on coaching and training. And in 2023, he co-founded Legacy Vending, channeling profits to support nonprofits, and initiated Warren Investment, leveraging real estate and wealth, honoring his father's legacy. Sam's journey certainly is the epitome of resilience, innovation, and commitment. And you're going to learn more about him today because we're going to be talking about from hustle to strategy, how Sam built multiple six-figure businesses. Put your hands together and welcome on to the stage on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, Sam Anderson. Hello. How are you?
Sharvette, I got to tell you, you really know how to make a black man blush. That was a killer intro.
Listen, all good things here, all good things. And so we're excited. Now, listen, you look like you're on the beach. We need to be reversed.
I'm on the beach. I live in Richmond, but we're here in beautiful Myrtle Beach this week for a family vacation. So my wife and the in-laws have the kids down at the pool, so I could do this interview with you today.
Oh, well, thank them for me on my behalf. And so certainly let's jump right on in. And so your journey certainly inspiring. Talked a little bit about that in your in the bio there, but kind of take us back to when you first knew, hustle. That ain't the way. We need to be working with strategy. Walk us through that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing that opened up my eyes, I don't really rock with this author anymore. He's kind of gone off the edge a little bit. But
Okay.
Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. When I read that book, it was like I'd been seeing in black and white my entire life, and all of a sudden I was seeing in color for the first time. And when I realized that there were people out there that you didn't have to stay at a job that you hated for the next 50 years, that was eye-opening to me. I was like, wait, there are other ways to make money? Like, I don't have to be miserable working a full-time job. So that's really when things kind of opened up for me. I got my start in network marketing. I tell people all the time, you get those pitches from people like, hey, are you looking for some extra income? Like that sort of thing. I tell people, you're not going to make any money there more than likely, but the mentorship that you get in those systems, I think that's what helped me in my entrepreneur and really helped kick it off. So, that was a big turning point for me. Like, number one, reading that book, but then number two, getting involved in network marketing and being educated by people that, weren't working a 9 to 5.
Yeah. And so sometimes this word hustle is glamour, it's glamorized, that it's like, oh no, you're supposed to like hustle is what you're supposed to be doing. And so I love the thought of that. No, let's change this and move to more of a strategy place. And so certainly many entrepreneurs are juggling jobs, they're juggling side hustles. And you did that, for a while. And how did you manage, managing all of the things that you were doing while you were also working as a project manager?
Yeah, let's first talk about the word, instead of hustle, grind. And I think this is prevalent in the Black community. So if you look up by definition, to grind something means it's going to dissipate. You're wearing it down. And we glamorize this idea of like, you got to grind, you got to grind, you got to grind. I don't want to grind because that means I'm gonna whittle myself down to nothing. Now, with that being said, there is a period of time where there are going to be long nights and early mornings. Like, you just have to put in that time and effort in order to get something off the ground. I always equate it to physical fitness. Like, there's a reason why gyms are empty come March, is that everybody sets these crazy goals at the start of the new year. Like, oh, girl, I'm going to drop 5 dress sizes, boom, boom, boom. Ain't seen this inside of a gym in 5 years. And then the first day goes in there, tries to kill herself, works out 3 hours. But what about that person that says, you know what? I haven't been in the gym in a while. I'm not going to kill myself. What if I can commit 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week? 6 months from now, that person is going to see massive results versus the other one who just, got started and quit. And I went on a little tangent there and just forgot your original question. Hit me with that.
Oh, no. How you were able to kind of manage the side hustles and side gigs, let me say it that way, while you're working full-time as a project manager.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're working 9 to 5 for somebody else, you got to give yourself 5 to 9. Like, second, I was a company man to the core when I was working there full time before I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, if my boss was like, somebody needs to stay here a little later, we got a maintenance guy coming by, I'm like, boss, you got a family and kids, man, go home. I'll lock up for you. Don't worry. And then as soon as I got these businesses started, as soon as 5 o'clock hit, hey, man, I catch y'all tomorrow. Like, ain't got time. My lunch breaks, I did not eat lunch for 6 straight months because I got an hour for lunch. So I would just meet with people that I was bringing in on my business, whether clients, contractors, whatever the case was, which really only gave me a 30-minute meeting because it took me a minute to drive there, have the meeting, get back to the office before my boss could say something to me. So it was a lot of that. And then I figured out people weren't willing to meet with me past 7 p.m. So I booked meetings from 5 to 7, then from 7 to 9 to 10 to 11. I was just at home working on the business, building the website, working on social media, coming up with a strategy and all those sorts of things. And at first, like, it was just, you're just shooting in the air, seeing what you can kill. But once you start to get real strategic, I've always said the riches in the niches. If you can narrow your focus, like when I first started Enso Media Firm, we had 16 different services we provided. Now we provide 6. And I realized I was spending 90% of my time focused on something that brought in 5% of the revenue. And once I started to delegate and look through the business and say, you know what, it doesn't make sense for me to spend 90% of my time on something that brings in 5% of the money. So restructured, got serious, and came up with the full strategy. Now with today, it's a lot easier. You can go to ChatGPT. If you get real good at prompting, you can go to ChatGPT, put all this stuff in. ChatGPT will kick out the strategy for you with some tweaks that you'll probably have to personally make. But the excuses are out the window now. Like, technology's made this too easy.
Wow. And I see some hearts. I see some likes coming in. So that comment just resonated with, yes, Roberto. It's rich. The riches are in the niches. Yes, yes, yes. Right there, right there. And
I like Roberto. I like Roberto.
Yes, yes. There you go. That's what resonated. New York. He's watching in from New York. There you go. Thank you. And so Enso Media Firm. So certainly born out of, the challenges with marketing, and how did the struggle to really shape your approach around marketing and helping other startups, how did that formulate into this company that you have?
Well, the funny thing is I started this out of necessity. So the first two companies I had, Richmond Bubble Soccer and the laundry business, I found myself in need of marketing services. And there were two options that I found. One, I go to a local studio. They quote me $16,000 to do a 30-second video. I was in business 3 months, couldn't afford that. Then went to Facebook at the time and said, hey, who knows someone that can help me with video marketing? And all the responses I got were, hey, my cousin Tim got a camera for Christmas. He could shoot a video for $50. So the stuff I wanted, I couldn't afford. The stuff I could afford, I didn't want. So I saw there was a big gap in the marketplace, and I said, you know what? I don't have the skill set. I don't know how to do this, but notoriously creatives are horrible business owners. Just because you're good at photography or videography or websites or something like that does not mean you know how to run a business. So I went out to all the freelancers I could find. I pulled them all in a room, and I said, hey, guys, I got this new business. I'm going to bring you all the business you can handle. I just cut you a check. We move on to the next thing, but I'll handle clients, I'll handle contracts, I'll handle lawyers. You guys just get to do the fun part. And through that process, I found myself falling in love with marketing. So I actually dropped out of college at the junior level because it took me that long to realize they weren't teaching me how to be an entrepreneur. They were teaching me how to go work for an entrepreneur. So I tell everybody I'm a college dropout, but I graduated YouTube University summa cum laude. I just went home every night, studied everything I could. Was able to build that skill set up, found a mentor along the way, and the rest is history. So, it's really just going out and figuring out those pieces, getting the information and actually implementing it. I think too many people, although we're going to drop some gems on this podcast, and Ms. Sharvette, this may be the highest ranked podcast that you ever have.
All right, come with it.
I might be your Cat Williams. You're my Shannon Sharp. I might be your Cat Williams.
Listen.
What I don't want is people walking away from this conversation, taking some notes, and then those notes get tucked in the desk that they never look at again. If you don't take it, I would rather go out, try something, fail immediately versus analyzing something for 6 months. So when I get an idea about something, I run with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're going to learn something from this. Like right now, I have a whole new program, which I haven't released this publicly yet, but we got a different way of marketing that we're working with some larger companies now. And I've literally had this idea for 2 years, but didn't know the right client that this could work with and figuring out the right context for that. So I eventually approached a couple clients here recently and said, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Let me know if you guys are interested. Every single client I approached said, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's go. Where do I sign? And if I just kept sitting on the idea and I didn't actually implement it, and normally deals like this, we would do 6 to 12 month contracts. I started all the clients out at 3 months. I said, hey, there's going to be some testing here. There's some things I need to figure out. There's some things you're going to need to figure out. So let's get to 3 months. Let's see how this works out. And so far, it's going phenomenally. So I'm excited to be able to announce that to everyone here in the next month or so.
Yeah, I want to stick a pin in that point. I heard someone say most successful entrepreneurs fail 3 times before the average person makes a decision. And I don't know who. So whoever said it, if y'all find it, I can't remember who said it. It's not my quote, but a successful entrepreneur fails 3 times before the average person even makes one decision. So to your point
Lord, that's
what happens is I have found working with clients, I work largely with a lot of women entrepreneurs, is that sometimes there's this, I'm waiting for the fear to be gone, or I'm waiting for the confidence to be there, where those things fear doesn't leave, number one, confidence doesn't come. It's sitting on the sideline saying, sis, I'm waiting on you. Confidence comes after you take action. So we preaching the same thing. We right there.
So there's a line, my favorite line from the Jim Carrey movie, Bruce Almighty. and Morgan Freeman played the role of God in that movie. Which who else is going to play God but Morgan
Right.
Freeman?
Right.
He said, you know, Jim Carrey's wife was sitting at the bar. She was crying. She was talking about all these things. And Morgan Freeman's character came over to her and said, you know, when you pray for patience, do you think God just gives you patience, or does he give you the opportunity to be patient? If you're praying to be confident, do you think God just makes you confident, or does he present you with opportunities to display confidence? So I think that's what a lot of people have to understand is like, these things don't happen until you get in the game. Like, that's why it's crazy to me that kids can go to school now and actually major in entrepreneurship. Like, entrepreneurship happens out in the streets. It does not happen in a lecture hall. So if you keep sitting around on the sidelines thinking about these things, like same thing with investing. Like I've recently, a couple of years ago, got into real estate investing, and I think I started my first brokerage account maybe 5 years ago and got into investing in stocks. And you know, it was the things that always held me from that were I don't know enough about stock market, how this works, blah, blah, blah. And then one of my best friends like, dog, just jump into it, man. Like, it's not that you're not going to spend any money that you don't already have. Like, it's cool. And the more I got into it, the more I learned. The more podcasts I started to listen to, the more books I started to read, the more mentors I sought out. And my portfolio is looking sweet right now. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but had I never jumped in and had that start, I wouldn't have that in my brokerage account.
This is good. This is like an Oprah life class right now. Those of you, we see you coming on in episode 774 from hustle to strategy, how I built multiple six-figure businesses. So I know there are people who are sitting in like, okay, I got my notebook, I got my iPad. Sam, tell me how you built multiple six-figure businesses. First of all, you've already started telling us some of the principles and the mindsets there, but how would you respond to that person saying, hey, I want to know what you did, what am I supposed to be doing and all that?
All right, let me take a sip. I'm on vacation, so I'm not drinking water. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, starting a multiple six-figure business. All right. Number one, the first thing people get wrong is that they try to appear like a six-figure business before they have the six figures. Ooh. Don't rush out and get some pretty office space. Like the office space that we just moved into this past February was the office space that I dreamed when I came up with this concept 10 years ago. And I'm just now moving into it. I worked out of my house for 3 to 4 years before I was ultimately forced to get an office space. And the only reason I had to get an office space because I had employees and I didn't want employees running through my house. So I was like, this ain't a good look. We got to make a change here. And that first office was not a full office on its own. It was a shared business space. So I had probably about the size of this patio that I'm on right now. That was the size of the entire Enso Media Firm headquarters, like probably maybe 300 square feet, like if that. And I had 3 employees packed in that room. And if somebody didn't put on a stick of deodorant that day, we all felt
it
that
was going to be an issue. It was
going to be an issue. So we started small. Also very much believe in, now I use what's called OPM, other people's money. In the early days, I didn't want to touch anybody else's money. So everything I did was built off the back of our sales. So initially, so you're in Richmond, you know the Flying Squirrels. So if you go to the Flying Squirrels website right now and go purchase a ticket, you're going to get a 360-degree view of what your seat's going to look like. My team did that probably 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
We had no idea how to do this. We just saw that, the 360 tours were starting to get big. It was like, working with real estate agents, this is going to be a thing, but can we work with bigger venues like this? So I approached them, made my sales pitch, gave them what I thought was an incredible price, and they said, okay, let's do it. So funny thing is, we didn't have the equipment to get this done. The price I quoted them was what the equipment was going to cost for us to get this job done. So I had the Flying Squirrels pay for the equipment. Once we got it in, we got the equipment in, like it got shipped to us like 2 days before we were supposed to do this shoot. So me and my business partner stayed up all night watching YouTube videos, figuring out how to make this gear work. When we got there, we had some problems, but we were able to get through it. But the client was none the wiser. They thought we had been doing this for years. But every job after that was profit because I had the Flying Squirrels pay for me to acquire the equipment. So I think that's a play that a lot of people don't utilize is if there's something you need to do in order to scale your business, find the client that's out there. Like, again, another person who I don't align with as much now, but a Grant Cardone, one quote that he said that has always resonated with me was, "Who's got my money?" And I've always approached sales in that manner, in terms of, there is somebody out there right now, whatever income level you're trying to get your business to, whatever income level you're trying to put in your personal pocket, somebody else out there has that money. So you need to ask yourself the question, who's got my money? Go out and find them, make that sale, provide a great service, and the money is now in your pocket. So that's always been the approach there. Next thing I would say is probably, and this lesson took me way too long to figure out, is actually, let me start that by telling a story. So to me, the GOAT of all entrepreneurs is Steve Jobs. Like, I study Steve Jobs like he's Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Like, I know that guy's stats like the back of my hand. So when Steve Jobs, he got kicked out of his company the first time, the second time he came back, he hired this guy. I'm actually reading his book right now, BE 2.0, Beyond Entrepreneur 2.0. So this was the guy that Steve Jobs consulted with when he came back and said, what do I need to do to take this company to the next level? Yeah. And the formula was simple. Everybody thinks it was the invention of the iPad or the new MacBooks or iPods and all that stuff. No. Steve said, I need to go out and find the best possible talent in the world that I can possibly find and get them here on this team. Now, that was always a struggle for me, because I'm like, all right, well, Steve, in order to get the best talent in the world, you got to have a pretty deep pockets in order to make that happen. But you'd be surprised when you put stuff out there. Like, I have a kid that's moving. He used to live in Mechanicsville, right outside Virginia. He's been living in Hawaii the last 3 years. He got a contract to work with the church doing some videography work. I keep a rolling with this principle of finding the best people you possibly can. If you go on Indeed.com right now, I have a job posting. I'm not actually hiring. I just keep a regular job posting going out for social media managers, videographers, different roles. If the right person comes along, Lord, we're going to figure this out. Jesus, take the wheel. We're gonna find a way to make this work.
Figure it out. Yes.
If you're not constantly putting out those feelers, you don't know. And we went from this last year in 2024, I had 14 people on my staff. I whittled that down to 7 people this year. And since I cut my staff in half, profit's been better. Clients haven't been happier. Production's on a whole other level. Everybody's just functioning the best they possibly can. So once I found the right people to put on the bus and take this ride with me, the ride got a whole lot smoother. So it's finding the best people that you can will make all the difference in your business.
Listen here. Hey, Eartha, thank you for popping on in. That all of that right there is so good and so rich. Back to Steve Jobs. So a lot of people say, oh, he always wore a black turtleneck, black shirt, jeans. That was because he didn't want to have decision fatigue over clothing. Those of you who watch, I'm on episode 700. This is live. This is not pre-recorded. If you go back to episode 600, I have this same printed blazer on. Why? Because I did not want to have decision fatigue wasted over an outfit being on. And I'm cute too, y'all. I know y'all know. But that's behind it. That's the thought behind it.
Now, if you look at the majority of my videos and content, I mix it up every now and then. But there was this one clothing brand I found on Instagram that I reached out to. They had some dope clothes. As guys, especially now, I'm a dad, we always got that dad bod here. I just like solid color t-shirts that don't have any logos or anything on them. I want them to fit tight in the sleeves and loose in the front. Found this one company on Instagram. It looked money. I said, hey, I'm going to take a gamble. Let me buy this shirt. Best t-shirt of my life. Like, I can't stop wearing these shirts. So I DM'd the owner and I said, hey, man, all your ads are like these 22-year-old dudes in California with 2% body fat looking ripped. All those guys, you can put a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt out the package on them. They all going to look good in it. I was like, but I'm your target customer. You're not showing me what I would look like in that shirt. So I was like, hey, start sending me free clothes. Dude, I'll start making all the content and hit this other demographic that you haven't been hitting on. And sure enough, we've had a year-long partnership. My team makes a couple videos for them a year. They send me the free clothes. But when I go to my closet every day, the only decision I have to make is which pair of jeans I'm wearing, because all my shirts, they're the same t-shirts, just red, gray, navy blue. I'm not going to sit there and take 30 minutes picking out an outfit.
Listen, I saw some hearts go up for that. Oh, my goodness. We have a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I want you certainly to share how our listeners could work with you, different things you might have available for them. And also, I want to touch on mindset. You've been dealing with that and any other tips you have. So I'm going to let you relax in the virtual studio during our commercial break, and I'll come back and grab you. Right, right. All right, we are going to a quick commercial break. I know you all are loving this. And I mentioned that this episode is being brought to you by our ninth. Can you believe it, y'all? Our ninth in-person event, November 7th and 8th here in Richmond, Virginia. But listen, sis, because it is just for the ladies, I can show you better, I can tell you. Here's just a little taste of our past events. Here you go. I am Sharvette Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Productions, the producer and host of the Platform Builder Summit. We are here in beautiful Richmond, Virginia with 115 amazing women, professional service providers. We have therapists, we have accountants, we have realtors in this space, and we're excited about all of the amazing transformations that their businesses and their brands will continue to have.
I was drawn to this conference because of all the beautiful things I heard about the conference. This is my first experience, so I've only heard great things about the empowering women that shared their stories and the things that people take it away from it, and I wanted that experience.
One of the things that I've enjoyed the most about just meeting other women and interacting with other women is the fact that we all realize that we can work together and we can partner together. I don't know how you can come to a Sharvette event and not leave more confident in your skill set and in your gifting, and that's absolutely what I feel today, having just been in the room for the past couple days.
Anything and everything you could think of in regards to business has been discussed, from marketing to finance to planning to strategy to platform building. It's so many amazing nuggets that I can take back and actually implement and grow my business.
This is my second time coming to one of these conferences, and I'm telling you, every time I just get more fired up about what it is, what my why is.
This is going to energize me for the rest of the year and into 2024. So grateful.
All right, there you have it. I want to see you here in Richmond, Virginia, November 7th and November 8th. Jump over to platformbuildersummit.com. Jump over to platformbuildersummit.com. And this is a VIP event, all VIP access. There are no general admission tickets, and the pricing reflects that. Platformbuildersummit.com. All right, let's jump right back on in. I'm going to bring our guest back on to the virtual studio and onto the stage now. Sam Anderson is with us. Mr Preneur. I want to hear about that because that's your coaching and consulting side. So let's talk about the work that you do. In particular, you certainly built all these businesses and now have this kind of coaching arm. And what are maybe some of the mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make, and what do you help them kind of figure out and change?
Yeah, well, first off, let me comment on that promo video. That event looks amazing. I saw some familiar faces in that video too, some ladies I know. I'm just upset that I'm a man and I can't attend. So
listen. Shout out to Kimmy James Photography on that. And we're going to do something for the men because I have male friends who are like, you're discriminating, Sharvette. You're discriminating.
Well, I might. You know what? I'm just going to put on a little bow tie and a vest, and I'm just going to serve the hors d'oeuvres so I can pick up some gems. Like that's all good.
There you go.
All right, on the coaching tip. So first, let me say this: the whole Mr Preneur brand, where I started that was because I started to become this serial entrepreneur. And I needed something to kind of encompass everything that I was doing. And it was actually funny. I was on a bachelor party weekend for one of my buddies who was getting married. And one of my friends, this is around the time like I really started all these companies. So every time I was on my cell phone, one of my friends would come up to me and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing, Sam? Are you preneuring right now? Is that what you're doing? You're preneuring?" And I had a 2-hour drive back home after this trip, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, preneuring. I was like, Mr. Preneur? I was like, does that work? And I looked up online. There was no Mr. Preneur. There were a bunch of Mr. Entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But I was like, Mr. Preneur's got a little ring to it. So I immediately ran with it. When I got home that weekend, started up a new LLC, made the brand, got everything together. So on the coaching side, I am not looking to explode as an entrepreneur coach. That is not what I'm trying to do. I maybe take on 5 clients a year, and my prices, I know my prices are cheap. I'm charging between $200 to $600 a month to coach with some of these people. So it really is just out of love. Like, it's something I enjoy doing. But the typical mistakes I see are people just trying to move too fast. Some of the things we talked about before, like, you gotta take your time with this. Like right now, he may end up watching this because he'll see it on my social media, but I'm coaching a young man right now. He's 17 years old in high school. His photography teacher reached out to me because me and her used to go to college together. And she was like, hey, I got this student. He's ready to quit high school right now and start his photography business. Will you talk to him? And I was like, I'm not sure if I'm the one you want to talk to because I'm not the biggest on like higher education and things like that. But I do feel at the high school level, dude, it's your junior year, man. You put in all that work, just finish it out. So we sat, we talked, we've been coaching, and today earlier I had a call with him, and his first goal was for his business to make $360,000. So we sat down, and this is going, he's made $0 so far. So I was like, first, dude, I'm not going to crush your dreams. 360 is definitely accessible, but you're a full-time student. You're 17 years old. You don't have a car. Like, how are you going to generate $306,000? So I was like, I'm not going to pull away from that. Let's break down how this can be done. And when I started to go through his costs in terms of, okay, if you're generating this much income, it means you're working with this many clients. Can you handle that on your own? No. Okay, so you need to hire this person. You need to hire this person. You need insurances. You need this. You're going to need some new camera gear. You're going to need X, Y, and Z, boom, boom, boom. And at the end of that, he saw, well, man, I'm only going to make $47,000, like in my own personal pocket. I was like, well, at 17 years old, I was like, 50 grand a year ain't nothing to sneeze at, bro. I was like, you do this 2 years, you graduate high school, you're making $100,000. You may make more in a year than some of your teachers are. So I was like, that ain't nothing to sneeze at. But to break down and show him, like, okay, maybe I should go a little bit slower. It's something I've had to work on. Like when I told you that new program that we have for Enso.
Yeah.
Me 2 years ago, I'd been like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. We got to get this out. Let me jump on every podcast I can, talk about it. Let's promote this. Let's make videos, boom, boom, boom. And I would have overwhelmed myself. The program would have came crashing in. Now with some experience and time, I've learned, hey, there's a reason why Chick-fil-A tests out a new sandwich in a small local market before they take it on a national level. You got to test with control groups, get some input, because there are going to be things that you need to figure out. Because I'm not even sure I'm at the right price point right now. I may be charging too little. I may be charging too much. Like I have to figure out how much time it's taking my team and all those sorts of things. But I really went off like the Mr. Preneur thing. But Mr. Preneur at its core is really my number one love is public speaking. Like anytime I can get in front of a crowd and add value to a group of people and talk to them in a way that most people probably aren't going to talk to them. Like when I give a talk, you better come with your spit bucket because I'm knocking out teeth. Like it's a boxing.
Oh my!
I'm gonna tell you the stuff that's gonna make you feel good and all the woman. Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you this is where you're screwing up and here's what you need to do. So if you ain't ready for the truth, don't come to my talks.
Period. And because all of the internet gurus would say, oh, it's quick and it's fast. And let me tell you, versus the opposite, because I'm always telling my clients, marketing and building your platform brand, it is a crock pot. This is not an air fryer. This is not a deep fryer. It is a crock pot. And so, that is. I
like that analogy. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is something you put on the stove and you leave the whole day and hopefully that thing's ready when you get home.
Right. That's what we're hoping. Well, listen, I'm over my time, and I honor your time. And so how can people work with you or any of the companies that you might want to, any of your companies that you want to direct listeners to? Feel free to share all of that.
Yeah, you can go on any of my online platforms, just search Mr. Preneur. You can search Samuel Anderson on anything. I'll pop up there. And in terms of services, like I don't like selling people hard. Hey, if you need us, we ain't hard to find. We can help you out. We're right for some people, but we ain't right for everybody. I learned that a long time ago. Also have a podcast that I've been producing for the last 2.5 years called You Can't Afford Me, where we bring on entrepreneurs and have in-depth conversations on there about how to build a business. And Ms. Sharvette, you know we got to bring you on and get you to the studio.
Listen, let's do it. Yeah.
We got to bring you on. Mine's an hour, so I'm gonna get everything out of you at the end of that interview.
Okay, great. And those that are listening, look down below in the show notes. If you are on the podcast, look down below in the show notes. And Sharvette.com is the best place. We have the full information, clickable links there, and you'll be good to go. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. Listen, we don't have a lot of gentlemen on our show. And there's a little phrase I say, I work with women entrepreneurs and a few lucky men. And so literally when some of our clients saw you, some of my posts, they inboxed me and said, oh, he must be one of the few lucky men. So you represented well. You represented well. And Lisa was like, you know what? He responded right back. Sometimes I have to chase people down. So shout out to Lisa, our client engagement and operations coordinator. So thank you for being here. And we wish you certainly much more continued success and continue to have an amazing vacation with your family.
I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. The brand looks wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm loving this.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. All right. Woo. I am telling you, it is a wrap. Thank you for being here. I wanted to capture Eartha. We would love to have you at the Platform Builders Summit, platformbuildersummit.com. I'd love to see you in the audience there. Thank you. And it is a wrap. If you missed anything, listen, you're going to need to hear this again. Like this wasn't one of those, no, you need to hear it again. You need to pull out an iPad. You need to pull out a notebook and take some notes. And Sharvette.com is going to be one of the best places to do that because we have all the information there. All right, it's a wrap. We're going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.